We got snares, cymbals, quads, and bass. It's time for you to get a little taste of the only drum line certified by the Queen Bee. Guaranteed to show up and show out on your ass anytime, any place, anywhere. Introducing the buzz. It's time for you to get a little taste of the only.
Let's go. Let's go. Hey, how we feeling? How y'all doing? What? Yes. Yes. More air horn. More air horn. Let's go. Let's go. Don't know about that. Hey, what y'all know about that? What y'all know about that? No, does we might have to do that a little bit more often. Pretty girl in the building. W first, what's going on, family? How you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome to OhnahjiU Saturday. We are in the building. I got my co-host. Yes, I'm OhnahjiB. I'm Brian, founder behind OhnahjiU and Ohnahji University. We're gonna get this thing rocking and rolling. Started. We got co-host, Dean of Business, Dean of AI, Dean of Tech. Taking it all around through the gurus in the building. So we're going to pull him up and say what's up. But we are here for another special OhnahjiU Saturday, 10 a.m. PST in the building. Let's go. Yeah, I see my guy in the building. How you doing, family? What's the word? Yes, in the chat as well too. Look at him. Look at him. He's everywhere. I see how you feeling this morning.
I can multitask. I can do two things at least.
Hey, I'm trying. It's hard. It's hard. We out here though. But production's going crazy. How was your week, family? What's the word? It's good to see you. Thank you so much for coming through to another OhnahjiU Saturday. Shout out to you.
No doubt, all good. It's a long week. Glad for the weekend.
No, I hear that. I hear that. It's gearing up for it to be a solid weekend. I mean, I had a good week. I'm not gonna lie. You know, coming off last weekend, Valentine's Day weekend, so didn't hit the OhnahjiU Saturday. But we are back. We are back on this February 21st, and I'm excited to get into some tech talk, some emerging tech talk, all that good stuff. We gonna do it. We gonna do it. So, and I know. Go ahead, IT.
No, it's all good. I was gonna say, don't feel like you can't do your crypto thing. I may not have a lot of input, but I'm here. I'll listen attentively.
You probably are going to have a lot of input for the crypto news this week because it's mirroring the market. Things are down, things are closing up shop, sun setting left and right. So yeah, yeah.
I'll find an optimistic note in there somewhere.
That's what I'm talking about. I love it. We got pretty girl in the building. W first, family. It's good to see you. What's up? Yay. You know, OhnahjiU Saturday back in the building. I see my guy in the building. Taylor, what's going on, fam? It's good to see you as well, too. That's what's up. Doing good. New phone case coming tomorrow. Okay, Taylor. Okay. New phone case threads. That's a two. Yeah. Decking out the phone cases is hilarious. It's good to see y'all. Welcome. If you guys have any questions, you know, we'll probably get into some deep into some tech talk. If you guys have any questions or anything, feel free to let us know. Get a new phone too. And I might have to be on that wave too. Not gonna lie. I might wait to the next little iPhone though. Maybe the next couple, but I don't know.
Are you trying to get the foldable?
Yeah. Tell me more. I'm not hip. I know.
That's what's coming October. With the 18, that's supposed to be the thing that's coming with it. At least that's what they're suing that YouTuber for leaking.
Oh, well, that would do it. I mean, that makes sense. I could see that that trajectory. With the 17s, they had the little super skinny slim one, right? The Air. What do they call it? I don't know.
Yeah, the Air. So that was the thought process, is that was kind of practice for something thin enough to be able to expand it while they were waiting for Samsung to fix the screen crease, because they don't want the crease. So, you know, we'll see what we get in October.
Interesting. Okay, then I might hold off because that changed the game. A foldable iPhone, I might have to just off top. I'm just might, you know, as a tech nerd, just might have to grab that. I've been too deep in the AI and the crypto, the emerging tech side. I didn't see any of that. Taylor said she got the 17 coming. That's what's up. Coming one there Tuesday. Hey, W new phone gang. The cameras are going crazy. that's been cool too to see, especially now being in this live stream era. I'm more looking at those type of things, you know, some lenses and optics and all that good stuff. I was never paying attention to any of that before, but shout out to you know, the evolution.
It's funny how that has driven the sales of cameras beyond like photography. Like people are using them for live streaming, and it's
Right.
interesting because it's such a product culture built around the cameras in your phones. But when people are doing something that is quote unquote professional, they're still going to get like real cameras. So that's what's
Right.
interesting. Like even for me, who kind of have forgotten my photography skills in a lot of ways because I don't really do it anymore. But I always
Yeah.
kind of tell myself I will. You know, I'll even start doing with the phone because I'm trained on film. But like it's different. I find myself like thinking about that foldable iPhone because I don't really care about the camera because I'm gonna start using a real camera again.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, camera sales are probably streaming has probably taken off with camera sales. I know, you know, JV, my guy Jane Violet, going crazy. You know, prayers up for him for his situation going on right now. But I think everything's gonna be okay with my guy. But he's on a Sony EV10. You know, I'm not hip to any of the. I mean, I barely know any brands. So, you know, I know Canon and his Mark series was going crazy. You know, Sony and the Alpha series and stuff like that is going crazy. But I don't know much about photography at all. I didn't even know that streamers could use like cameras. Like I didn't even know you could use a camera like that to stream, like connecting that up to like a modem connection or just connection in general. I didn't even know that existed. So
Do you have like a old DSLR?
I don't. I've never been in that realm.
Good. That means you don't have the tech debt to like. Some people will get caught up trying to like bring that back to life or make that work, and then get
Right.
stuck between do I buy a new one or do I use what I have? And is you
Right.
know you don't have to deal with all that, so it's going to be new. That makes it easy. You want mirrorless, so you know yeah, you don't have to even really get super complicated. A lot of people will push you towards the trends. I mean, I would say don't, you know, go super cheap. You kind of get what you pay for, but you
Yeah.
don't have to get the most expensive thing that everybody uses to get something that's good.
Yeah. That's cool. That's crazy. Yeah, I've never been in that realm. As far as like, you know, the gearhead trap or whatever, you know, into that rabbit hole has been on like the music side for me, you know, like keyboards and interfaces and stuff like that on the audio side. So I've been so tapped in with audio. And then, you know, transitioning into like the graphic design situation with, you know, the like the visual, but I never got into video like at all. So this live streaming era last April has been like the first where I'm like, you know, buying a new webcam to get this done and stuff like that. You know, having a gimbal for the phone and making sure the phone camera can get it done. So it's a whole new ecosystem for me. But it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, there's a part of me that believes that you probably can do most of it with the iPhone. You probably, well, not even probably, you definitely need attachments and other
Right.
accessories to add on to it, but that could be the base. If you, but you have to be committed to that. Like I'm using my
Yeah.
iPhone and I'm going to get the specific things that make an iPhone good at this versus trying to do it with just the phone and half-assing it and not really coming out well.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But shout out to the chat going crazy. My guy Sharukin, you probably seen him in chat, but he's one of my OG day ones from you know way back after college. Shout out to him. He's been tapping in, but he actually has a YouTube channel. He's tapped in with like the photography side and stuff, and the videography side. And I don't remember what camera he used, but he's been through like a bunch of DSLRs and stuff. Um, and so he knows ball in that situation. But yeah, I've always had a bunch of homies that were in photography and videography and stuff. I just never dove in. I don't know why. It's just one of those tech sectors that I just you know, left alone. But we here now. Full circle is how it always works. It's how it always works, man.
Yeah, I feel that. I think I had the same coming from a beginning of photography, totally like based on film. Like we did it in school, so we had the dark room. So we
There you go.
learned like how to do all of it. It was more of a craftsmanship thing than a tech thing, the way that we learned it. So
It's cool.
it was harder for me to move from that workflow to I love the convenience of a digital camera, of course, but it totally changes the way you create the final product when you're doing it from developing the negatives, exposing it onto photographic paper and mounting it, and doing all of that to make an image is a completely different brain process than going into Lightroom and using graphs and levers and things and buttons. Like your brain doesn't work that way when you come from the other way. So like I always started, and I love the tech, but my brain doesn't process using software the same way it does with the photography side. So I always kind of stop somewhere.
Interesting.
So I might end up just going all the way back to film. Who knows?
That's sick. And I that's what I've seen. I can't speak on it, but yeah, that's dope, man. Maybe I will eventually. Nah, I'm not. That's too much. I got too much on my plate. Maybe when I got a lull and I can take up a new hobby or something. Nah, we'll see.
But the good thing about photography, especially if you do film, most of the time your camera's not going to be that big, and you can't do some of the things you do with the newer cameras anyway. So it's more intentional. It's small. It can just be a thing that you do when you do it. It doesn't have to be a planned hobby. You just have a camera with you and you take pictures.
So yeah, I mean, when saying that, it's like everybody's got their phones in their pocket now, and it gets it done for that kind of hobbyist situation.
The camera makes it intentional because you're thinking in a photographic mindset about a picture you're going to take, about the image, versus I think phones are about how do I capture this and save this part of life, this moment. And it's not for posterity, for like art. It's just how do I save it into the cloud, like, because I got to save things. It's a habit of the way we live.
Interesting. Yeah, that is a psychology, philosophy, mindset shift. Yeah, for sure. So that's interesting. Shout out to Isaac Through coming through already, kicking off the combo. Man, I love it. I love it.
I just think you would be good with photography because of how your brain works. So I think anybody who can make almost like an image out of letters in a way, really, but although letters are just images, but in a broader sense, I think you would be able to see images and other things really well.
Yeah. And I mean, there's been a couple times when, I've been dabbling and I put, on chain or whatever, diving into some of these newer platforms, Web3 platforms. And I've like put up some of my photography, quote unquote, photography shots, up, some LA palm trees. And so, yeah, sometimes I'll be taking pictures of the sky and clouds and the beach and all that good stuff. So, yeah, man. So I bring him back in the building. She said, "What's up? I see." Yep.
What's up? I'm reading the chat. What's up, Soul?
My bad. You can read out the chat too. Go ahead. You and your streaming era. Let's get it.
That's right. I'm gonna carry my weight today. So.
All right, cool. So this week, with Ohnahji, with the mission of Ohnahji and OhnahjiU, back in 22, we've been here trying to educate Black, brown, and allied folks in emerging technology. That's been our mission and our goal. The reason that Ohnahji really started to kind of build a table in this emerging tech field. And we had a really solid call the other night with Bandy, Rare Bandy of the Panthers, returned over back to Twitter Spaces. And IC Through came up, he was in the building. Shout out to my guy IC. I was in the building too, getting rugged like crazy. I was trying to kind of contribute to the combo, and it would not have me. But it was an amazing time. Shout out to Bandy, set that space up for Black History Month. A little Black excellence space, and it was a good time.
Yeah, for sure. That was vibes, like old times kind of vibes, like 3 years ago, old times. But yeah,
with the same live spam as well too. I was dying. I see through dying. Like, oh, nothing's changed.
I mean, sometimes you just gotta talk to your friends.
Facts. Straight like that. That's too funny. That's too funny. Other than that, this week we have been killing it. This is day, I don't even know. Day 188, y'all. Day 188. We're approaching that 200. And then we're on to that 365 on this daily stream journey. It's been a blast. And we've been leveling up. We have been, integrating the emerging tech and the AI side, and the Web3 side, the blockchain side, all along with it. And it's been a really good time. This week was an extremely goated set of calls. IC Through was here earlier in the week as well, too, sitting down with me and Better Call Saul for another little daily stream or extension to the daily stream. That was a goated call, but we were talking about AI. We've pretty much been talking about AI this whole week. AI is really having another exponential moment, on all of it, really. The video generation side has been going crazy. Image generation side has been going crazy. The automation side and tying it into, actual development and tools and things with the whole Claude bot situation has been going crazy. Like, AI is having another crazy moment right now. So, and I know I see through the guru, he's been playing with some new tools, building some cool things, sharing all kind of cool stuff in the Discord as well, too. So you guys got to tap in with the Discord. That's where the Dean of Magic stores all of his, magic tricks. You feel me? No, they're not magic tricks. All of his guru thought process and stuff, too. So I see, what's the latest on AI in your realm? I know I've been trying to hone in some workflow and stuff. Discovered Markdown yesterday. What's the word?
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that it's kind of fun watching you discover things.
Yeah.
Even though like I might have just said things in passing, I'm well aware that some of the stuff I'm saying in passing is just like noise. Like, you don't know what I'm talking about. It may sound interesting, but it's like, okay, cool. It's just another thing I'm mentioning. And there's no pressure for that. I feel like I'm applying for y'all to really use anything unless I really want y'all to. I'll make sure, you really see what I'm talking about. But I think that's cool. I think Markdown can be interesting as a use case for things outside of like AI bots, like just how you do personal knowledge management and things like, Obsidian and do your notes and things like that. But now that's all getting tied into the AI too. So it's all the same, I guess. There's a lot of energy around the open Claude bot, yada yada. I think some of that's dying down as it normally would. That's just how the cycle goes.
For sure.
I think if there was consistent, and I think it's telling in a way, there's a plateau for its usefulness. And not to say that it's like a gimmick or anything, it is useful, but I think there's just a plateau to it. Like, there's a point at which, like, you really can't, if it was really running everybody's business and doing all these wonderful things, then you would still keep hearing new stories about that from new different people, not just the influencer crowd. So yeah, just honest assessment at this point. It takes a while to get it to be useful. You fight with it a lot. And I feel like the real version of this, you won't have to do that. And if that comes from OpenAI kind of, hiring him on and having some involvement with the next version of this, so it's built into their product, that means that everybody's kind of already working on their own safer version of this. And they kind of are giving it to us in a way with like Claude Cowork, or, they have Claude Code built into it. OpenAI has Codex built into the ChatGPT. That kind of is really what this is. It's just not all packaged together like an open claw. And it's not, offering to freely connect to your personal stuff in the way that's dangerous, but also maybe useful. But even OpenAI is trying to do, like, I think they have something where they tried to offer a way you to safely connect your medical information, and maybe Anthropic tried to copy that. I don't know. I kind of like, put that out of my head because I'm not even considering that. So when I see those stories, I block it out. I hope you all do too, but to each their own. But yeah, I think it's the key word for anybody who's trying to follow this or is interested in it is agents. And what that means is the language model taking agency to go and do something independently, not necessarily by itself, but at your direction,
With some guidance,
and
yeah.
with some guidance from you. And that's where this is really going, where it's starting to move in a direction where it can be useful and go do things for you, not just a question answer relationship. And
Right.
that's where it really starts to get more interesting. So that's where we are.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, and I seen this too. It's like we saw a ton of hype, especially with I call it the lobsters, the open claw, where they were, the whole building skills and just acquiring skills, and then we're having, the social network, the Reddit for the lobsters, for the bots. It's like all of that really kind of grinded to a halt once everybody was like, okay, that whole situation was really just a gimmicky, attention grabbing thing for the humans. And the real piece, the real like networking piece underneath was just like, okay, the bots are able to grab some skills from the other lobsters through the network. And it's essentially the same thing as them getting it from anywhere else, like, a GitHub or just searching the net or, so yeah, I thought that was all interesting. The hype around that was kind of concerning though. I see. It was just like the humans were getting really like, I don't know, like it was really fun for them to see like this new version of Sims, I guess. But Sims is popular, so I ain't knocking it. You know what I'm saying? What'd you think, I see? Oh, Jonathan.
Yeah, I think people thought it was either scary or cool to think
Right.
that they're like alive and they have thoughts and feelings. None of that's happening. It's not. But I understand, people don't necessarily know all the science behind all of it. If they
Right.
start acting more like people, people believe they're acting more like people. If they don't necessarily know how it works, it's not even going to really get weird until the robots are actually really out there and they start acting like they have a personality, because then you have a physical representation. So this is nothing.
And
If you think this is weird where people are having a chat GPT therapist and all this other stuff, like, yeah, wait until they actually have a physical thing.
I think that would be less weird to me. That would make more sense as to why more humans are falling under that trap, because there's like a physical entity in front of them that they can, interact with, touch, handshake. I don't know. It is weird. It's very weird. But I understand that more
Yeah.
than just like
Well, I
talking,
guess what I'm saying is weird about it is that they'll think that makes it alive or sentient. Like, they
for
won't
sure.
really realize that it's still just software. It's not.
For sure.
It doesn't really have feelings or thoughts. It can talk to you like it does, increasingly well. But yeah, and that's what I mean when I say it gets weird, and it'll get weirder when there is a physical part.
Yeah. And I was just about to ask you too before you mentioned, like the actual like bots and robots and the mechanical pieces moving around out in the wild connected to the internet. Oh, I think I lost him. That's okay. We have him come back. But I was gonna say to IC, like, this is only going to get worse. Like this human behavior of, is this alive? Is this real? It's only going to get worse. And I don't know what we do about that. Cause I know, like, and shout out to IC through, because he's been the one from the jump, like screaming into the void, like, these are not real. This is code. These are not real. And I feel like we're gonna just have to keep screaming that message, IC, going forward, because the tech's only gonna get better.
I mean, I think we should be like hyper aggressive about how not real they are. Like, you
Okay.
should totally use this as a tool. Like, I'm not saying like talk to it nasty, but like,
Right.
the whole like please and thank you, that's fine. It's not a problem to say please or thank you, but the way that it's the way that you ask it a question, like, and people won't understand that what they're getting back from it is not legitimate or not actually useful. When you ask it a question that's subjective, you giving it a license to role play, basically. And like, it tells it, okay, now let me pretend and do what I've seen people do in my training data. And that's how I'm going to answer this question. Versus, like, instead of saying, what do you like about this? You could say, what is your analysis of this? It will respond to
Mm,
you completely differently. And that's what I
I'm
mean
gonna try that. Okay.
when I say use it like a tool versus talking to it like a person. When the whole magic of talking to it like a person is supposed to be that we can use our own natural language to just use sentences in English. But
Okay.
that's been with the whole way that they push the chatbots, the marketing of it is like you can't really teach people to talk in a technical way. So it's natural that we've progressed here. So it's more like the vibe coding is, I think, a good example of trying to show people how to use it as a tool and not make it a person while you do it. And I think
Yeah,
it's a good way, but a lot of people don't really want to make an app. So, that doesn't always connect to people either. But
for sure.
I think it helps for people to understand that it is a tool and it's not a person. I think for people who want to use it for things like medical advice, even that is maybe better than, just my opinion, than using it like a therapist,
Right.
because medical is more like, okay, here I have these symptoms, can you tell me what it should be? That might actually be good for people as long as the data
Yeah.
that it's using is good data and the
It's accurate.
conversation
Yeah.
you're having with it is protected. And that's really the
Mm,
main concern, is mostly the protection of the conversation is the issue. They
right.
have plenty of data to train on. So yeah, I think it's just a toss up of like, how do we really get people to have a working relationship with this as a tool without them getting so comfortable with it that they forget it's a tool.
And I think in that last piece, were you here, I see through a couple of days ago when I was reading my GPT output or whatever about the please and thank you situation. Did you see that?
Well, I saw the conversation. I didn't see the stream.
Okay. So you're hitting the nail on the head. I think it's like it takes, but I think there's very few individuals out there that are like super deep into the tech that can separate the two. Like understand that all of what we're talking to these bots and we're conversing with them and this brilliant human language feat that we can do with the bots now and these LLMs can separate that as a tool versus how they interact with humans in the real world. And I think as we get the problem that I'm seeing too is as we get more and more generations that are like fully ingrained in the internet, like my age, I know a time before internet, before computers, going outside, that type of vibe. But as I'm seeing these younger generations, they're like, when something happens, there's an incident, and we're like, "Yo, close the laptop," and they're like, "I can't." Like, life will go on the internet, and they're for real. Like, if something happens, it's gonna get passed to their network of friends, whatever. They come back Monday morning to school, everybody knows what happens. The closing the laptop didn't help them. But in our day and age, closing the laptop, no, we could walk away from the situation, and that's not the case. So I think as we go further and further down into how the evolution of these tools itself and how much people are online and ingrained online and are living online and value that internet connection versus IRL connection is going to be a huge slippery slope. So it's like, I don't know. What
Well,
do we do? I see through.
the other side of this is ultimately this won't matter as much in the
Which part?
present. In the present, it's an issue,
Mm,
but the end result of this is for this to be more background than it is foreground.
okay.
Like, in other words, the way that they that AI will kind of interact with us will be more passive than active. Like, ultimately you won't need apps for certain things because you'll have, on your device, whatever device it is, whether it's, whatever the iteration of an iPhone is in 10
Yeah.
years, or, it's really that what we saw in that movie, Her, is not that far from what it will be like. You will have to have something that either connects you to somebody's server or that runs your model. I think it's a hard way to see a reality where you're not connected to somebody's server, because that's how people make money. Local models should be good enough for most things. They're really powerful. We just don't have the devices that can run them. The problem is the people who would make the devices also are oftentimes the people who would make money from us subscribing to them for it. So I don't know. I feel like we're just going to, whatever we buy is going to have to connect to somebody's server somewhere. And that's where we'll get the best AI from. But it's, at any rate, what I'm getting at is that you won't have an app store. You won't have an email inbox that you look through the way you do now. I think those kinds of things will just happen. And you'll have people who maybe are doing it the old way, and they'll be looked at as like, ew, you still scan through your inbox. You know,
green bubble gang type vibes.
You know, it'll be worse than that, because it'll be so stupid for you to do it. Like, why would you when you could just have this thing do it? Again, I really think that the game really changes when the robots are for real.
We're there though.
No, we're not there. We're not there. We're not there. When I'm talking about for real, I mean
on a consumer level.
I mean, not like they're out there. When you go to some place, that's what's behind the counter. That's what's driving people around. If there is a car that's still driving people instead of driving itself, you know, where there's a steering wheel. I mean, like where people actually have them in their houses. And there's just like, there's levels to it. Like a middle class family could have one in their house versus a rich person has a much better one. Like the middle class one can't leave the house, and can't walk upstairs, or, you know, but can do everything on, you know, whatever. But where life really changes, and where even that's normal. And it's just like a thing, you know, just like you got the vacuums that run the Roombas or whatever.
The Roombas,
yeah. I mean, that's when it really changes. And so everything that people are so afraid of about AI, it will be funny to those people like 10 years from now, because it'll just be so passive and background and built into everything that all the noise that everybody's making now would just be like, oh, y'all are stupid.
Interesting. That's a great point. It's a great point. It's like that. Because where my mind goes is like, I wanna do a deep dive into where like the tech goes from like a CES showroom floor to in majority middle class homes, like a Roomba situation. But I mean, we're getting there with like, you know, I guess like the driverless cars, you know, like Waymos, you know, Tesla autopilots and stuff like that. I see through. The scariest part of this for me though is some of these tech companies are going to be able to convince some of these people to put these chips in there directly into their bodies.
I don't want to get dystopian on you.
Okay.
But you're talking about you're talking about them convincing people to put things in their bodies. Think about them convincing governments.
Well, tell me more. What do you mean? Expound.
Where does it become a choice?
Oh, I think we're a long ways away from that, though.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, are we not? Give me a time. You talking you talking governments forcing compliance with, oh well, I mean, it depends on how good the tech is, because if we're talking like vaccine level, small needle type of vibe, well, yeah, that's kind of a scary thought. I see. You're right.
Yeah.
Never mind. Pivoting. Pivoting right along.
Well, only reason that I even like make that kind of connection is just looking at how the past few years of politics have played out, and how they are so intertwined with politics now.
Yeah.
One in particular, but there's more than just him. He's just the loudest one. They've all kind of been there the whole time, but that relationship is not cool. So I'll just leave it like that.
How But I see through. I'm so like, that's crazy. And shout out to DR in the buildings. What's good, family? He was saying AI girlfriends make people money on that too. Yeah, like, but the AI girlfriends, to me, that ties into like the whole therapy situation. You know, like I see through was saying earlier, it's very it is a very cool situation to have, you know, medical data that we can access and analyze and stuff like that, because that's more of like a set data driven field. When it comes to something like therapy, you know, you need a human that's trained to look at another human, talk to another human, recognize signs, put things together, make inferences, and, you know, over time. I think it's a slippery slope, because I feel like a companionship or like an AI girlfriend or boyfriend or partner, spouse, whatever, is on the same, it's on the same level. It's not strictly cut and dry data. You have these symptoms. Here's what I think you should do. It's more like developing a relationship over time, like the best therapists do.
Man, I think AI
It's all
girlfriends,
slippery, man.
AI girlfriends might save
It's
some
all slippery.
lives.
I
AI girlfriends might save some lives, man. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah,
Some people,
yeah.
that may be what is necessary to keep them busy and not focus on what they can do to somebody else.
Mm, yeah. There's always a optimistic view. There's always a pessimistic view on anything. Yeah.
Because
Go
the
ahead.
way I look at it is, if you're capable of interacting with people without that,
Mm,
you will. And if you aren't, you won't. And
that's a good point.
I think that will really connect to people who can't, and end up in situations that are not good for them or other people, because they're so
Right.
angry about the fact that they don't have anybody to talk to. So if
Mm,
that's what they got to talk to, let them talk to it.
so be it. It's a good point. It's a good point. I see through. Okay. So now fast forward a little bit, back to, I don't know, man. I think so. Like, I'm just trying to think of, if I was in that position. I'm talking about like the, you know, the government situation, and I was trying to test some things, I guess. And what would you do? Like, hey, you know, the, this vaccine that we have, like, it can talk to you, like it can connect it to the internet. It can talk to you. Like how does that rollout look like? I can't even imagine. I'm sure there's a way to baby step it, I guess, but it's just like,
But we're just in a world where we have people who are hyper vigilant about
mhm,
nationalization and who you are and who gets to be here and who gets to vote, who gets
mm,
what privileges, and in a world that's
yeah,
desensitized to certain types of technology, it might not be
yeah,
so crazy for somebody to say, you know, we're going to not have social security numbers, we're not going to do this anymore, we're just going to put up this little chip, and everybody that's born after blah 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 blah, and we won't do this and we won't do that and it won't do that, and we promise it's good and blah blah blah.
and then it ends up doing all of the above.
So I'm just saying that that's
Hey,
not,
yo,
when the people who make the technology, see, we've come from a world where technological advances were really predicated by war,
yeah,
and war pushed us to advance our technology, right? So
mhm,
post World War II, we didn't have violent, armed wars in the way that we did before that.
mhm,
We had this Cold War, and one of the things that really took hold for whatever reason, and I think it was a matter of strategic advantage, that was the thought
yeah,
process, because you don't know what you don't know, but was the space race.
mhm,
And that then became the thing that actually drove so much of the technology, or the advancement of technology that we are using today, came from things related to that.
interesting.
Because there was not the push for advancement because of armed conflict anymore. So they had to figure out how to make these things work in space, and that's how we have all these, the internet and all these other advances
Yeah,
that we have now. And that's how you had to figure out how to make things smaller, how to make them survive in certain environments, how to batteries that last longer because they're not connected to, all these things. So,
All of it.
it's just a matter of understanding how that took place. And that came from public advancement, public investment, putting money into public research, into universities and all these things. All that's dried up now. And so the technological pressure is coming from the profit sector side. It's not coming from scientists and researchers, and that's not what's driving things. So that's why it's like the energy shift is different in terms of like there was no real relationship other than the government was really expected to cut the check to pay for the science before because it was good for us, versus now the science is paying for the government. You figure it out.
That's wild. Clip it. That's I see through. I've never thought about it that way. But yeah, so much tech comes from that information race, that space race. Like advancements in materials to be able to withstand the craziest amounts of heat we've ever seen. So like, the strongest steels known to man that can and go fast, when we're talking about rocket tech, like combustion tech, and then being able to withstand whatever's out there. So like even down to like tire tech, to tackle whatever terrain we don't even know is out there. Like that is a nutty thought. And like the internet capabilities and the connection capabilities to communicate with the things out there, to even store the information that we're going to seek and find, to be ahead of all the other countries or whatever. That's crazy. I've never thought about that like that.
A lot of the imaging stuff that has birthed the image models and the video stuff is from trying to be able to get these telescopes to be able to pull these images in and make sense of them. And basically you're pulling data from so far and it's such a wide vast, you're trying to basically zoom in to the universe and sharpen it. So it's like
That's hilarious.
algorithms that are being created. All of this stuff is kind of connected to that. And it's just, so just to know that the shift of things is so kind of perverted is concerning once you realize that. That's the only reason I even can make that kind of connection. I'm not really a conspiracy theorist type of person, but okay. I don't know what I'm left to think.
Right. Well, that being said, family, Ohnahji is here to help you dive into the emerging tech and even decipher the old emerging tech. But also, mental health is important as well too. So go out, touch grass, and all this stuff is going on. There's all these different. I was reading something recently about like conflict between city states and countries and different things like that. And I'll have to find it and send it to you, IC. But that stuff's gonna happen. That's humans. It's the nature of humans. It's the nature of this power structure or whatever, power struggle. But at the end of the day, life is finite and you need to enjoy it and find ways to enjoy it,
But that's the
'Cause-
one thing I think I like about the whole anti-AI sentiment is
okay.
not so much the anti part of it, but that it encourages people to do things that are not technological at all. Do completely analog things like with your hands and do human made. And I think that's good to encourage people to do anyway, not because of AI, but because a lot of people were already just being lazy because of, being connected to a screen and social media, not being really physically active anyway.
Right.
Unless it was for some aesthetic reason, like, go to the gym so you can look good. But outside of that, you weren't actually doing anything that was like hand-eye coordination and like keep your brain comfortably connected to what you're doing with movement outside of that,
Right.
So
Mm.
yeah, I think it's good that that's a result of it, because at the end of the day, like, all the anti energy won't stop what's
No,
happening. So
not even a little.
if we can at least get more human stuff out of that, that's good to me.
That's cool. Balance as always, utilize these AI tools. Remember that they're tools, but go outside, kick it with your friends, call your family, go shoot some hoop, go play some tennis, go play some pickleball, something. Get out there. Nah, 1000%. Nah. This is 10:45, y'all. 10:50. We're already cooking. I was almost an hour in this OhnahjiU Saturday. You ever play pickleball? No, I never tried it yet.
Yeah, me either. Nope.
Pickleball is interesting. Well, how do you guys feel about pickleball? Because I feel like it's just, well, from what I've seen, and this is very, very outside looking in, it just looks like a tiny tennis. And why do we need a tiny tennis? No, you need to run around that large tennis court. We don't need any shortened pickleball small.
I mean, there's older people and people with
True,
mobility issues, so that
true.
it's cool. And some people don't really want to do all of that. So
Yeah,
pickleball is better than nothing. I think
facts.
my mindset is, I learned how to play tennis when I was young. My parents played tennis.
There you go.
I would say just play tennis, but I won't turn my nose up at pickleball
Yeah.
at the same time. Like, I get it, but I would, like, just play tennis. But we're getting older, so we might want to. It might be easy to say just play tennis, but we might
Yeah.
want to start playing pickleball.
That's too funny. That's too funny. Well, I mean, I think the beef though that I've heard some of these little city meetings and stuff is that they're converting the tennis courts into pickleball courts, and that's when the tennis heads is throwing a fit. That makes sense.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I thought that people were mad about the noise more so
Oh,
than that. So I think that it depends. Like, they may use that
mm,
as the excuse if that is suddenly the source of a bunch of noise that you weren't hearing before, because nobody was even
yeah,
playing tennis. And now,
right.
because they turned it into pickleball, you hear clunk, 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 clunk all day long. So
I'm
I
crying.
so it may not be that the actual tennis players are mad. It's just
Yeah,
that, now that it's a problem.
I'm crying. Shaw said it's pretty fun. Tennis is harder because you have to know how to swing. Like golf, you can't just swing the club and think you're gonna play. That's true. That's true. Yeah, it's kind of like the mini golf to golf regular. I don't know. It's fun playing with your kids. It's like mixing tennis and ping pong. Does. And I'm gonna have to try it. I'm gonna have to try it. And I think my local park has a little pickleball. They converted one of the tennis courts into pickleball courts. So I might one of these days. No, that's too funny. That is too funny. Oh, I got a second one. Hold on. Let me see. Test, test. We need to switch it up.
No, I
All right.
just I just accidentally swiped
Cool.
on my phone.
You're gravy. It's all good. It's all good.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
So now you said,
nothing wrong with pickleball. Let them play pickleball.
yeah. Let them have pickleball. Let them have the pickleball. Pickleball IRL. Ooh, W shot. That might be a solid idea. I might do that. That's a W little stream idea for sure. For sure, for sure. Man, I see what's up with you, man. You gonna start streaming here soon? What's up? He's like, no.
Yeah, I wouldn't hold your breath.
Okay. All right, I won't. It's all good.
I can do some more of these Saturdays. We can get back to that rotation. I don't see myself streaming just to stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, like, I also wanted to ask you before, you mentioned, like,
Mhm.
the streak. What is the streak like? Do you get something for the streak? Like, what, or is it just
Like
bragging
from Twitch
rights, or
specifically? No,
yeah?
no, no. There's no like achievement. You did a 360. Well, maybe there is. Hey, they be popping up with secret little achievements left and right, which is kind of cool. So I don't know. Maybe if it's like, yeah, you went live 365 days, there actually might be an achievement for that. I don't know.
Well, even more so, like, in the streaming world, if that's a thing.
Yeah.
Like, in other words, like, is it giving you some sort of advantage to do it every day and not miss a day? Like, or is that just something you're doing for yourself?
I would say probably both. I know me and my personality style, um, how easily distracted I am with any different art medium, which I treat streaming as just an art medium. I think if I wasn't doing the daily streams, it would be like few and far between, maybe. So I think it's a very cool like accountability tool for myself. I kind of like the little daily habits and daily routines. I kind of need that for me. I think that's kind of the daily streaming is kind of the norm and the meta over on Twitch right now. I think just because, and I think that's from like a channel growth perspective. There's like, okay, if you're not live every day, somebody else is, you know, from a competition type of standpoint, growing their business type of vibe. But for me, I mean, I hopped into it. I tried it, broke the first streak at like 47 days out of 50 or whatever. So I think for me, it's just kind of like just trying to stay consistent with something. But also, my guy JV, Jaden Violet, man, he did his first 365 last year, started January 1st, and now he's like, I don't want to do daily streams anymore. It's like I want to do like he's in his content bag. He loves, the production side. He's like, I want to have a couple of days off to where I can even think about what I want to do in the streams. You know what I'm saying? Not Pinky Doll and Miles Morales. It's all performance art, EFX.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I mean, and that's kind of what my follow-up question was going to be.
Okay.
Like, not that there's anything wrong with the daily thing, but it also made me wonder, like, does it give you the opportunity to step back and plan something and
No.
like maybe make a produced thing versus, because that's the thing though. Some people that's their thing. It's just I go live. That's what I do. I
Yeah.
go live. And that's the gimmick. That's the performance. That's the whatever. And
Right.
some people are, depends. Like, I mean, I get JV, like there's a music component, and that's the thing. That's really, to me, I would imagine that's the real product. It's not the streams themselves. So
Right.
you would have to kind of produce something that's polished that points to your product and all that other stuff until you get to a
Yeah.
point where you know how to just do that off the random. And that would take some level of skill or natural talent. But
True.
yeah, no, I get it. It's nothing, it wasn't really like a thing that I
Yeah.
thought was wrong. I was just trying to get like, is there something that you get from this, that if you miss a day, like something's gonna happen?
No, 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 no. In my own personal mind and brain and philosophy, probably. Well, that's a different discussion. But as far as like on the tech side, like through like Twitch or something like that or whatever, no, 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 no. So yeah, it's just one of those little stat pieces. Jazz in the building. What's going on, family? Hey Najee, what's going on? How you doing? Welcome, welcome. This is OhnahjiU Saturday. This is our longest running segment. We've been rocking OhnahjiU Saturdays with the fam. I see through in the guru, the deans at the U since February 2022. So yeah, we've been killing it on these OhnahjiU Saturdays. This one has been no different. And we started 10 a.m. PST and we've been cooking. So yeah, shout out to you, Jazz, coming through. Shah Rukin in the building, of course, too. I see through. My day one OG, Soul Librarian, day one OG, Ohnahji fam as well, too. It's good to see y'all, fam. And DR Smart and the Ohnahji fam's coming through. But tell me, Ohnahji fam, tell me, are you guys enjoying, since I'm bringing up, the longest running segment, all that stuff, are you guys enjoying the live stream era, or would you want to throw some more, OG Twitter space audio only type of vibes in the mix? Like, let me know. I know Bandy kind of planted that in my mind. The tech kind of threw that right back out that night, but let me know your thoughts on that. I see. Like, would you want to do some?
I mean, I honestly, I wish, what I want to not do is to support that man's social media network. I wanted to die.
Right.
I wanted to die. But, if that's what we got to do to be able to have a collaborative space with our people, then okay, I guess we can go on Nazi Network and chop it up.
Yeah. Okay, so I understand more of what you're saying in the back channels on like, yeah, that conversation. So, as far as like, yes. But there's other spaces we got to do. It's just that's the hardest piece is like the communication side is like I love decentralization as the topic that it is and the intention that it is, but at the end of the day it's like there's a lot of platforms, there's a lot of avenues, there's a lot of places to hold your attention, especially on these tiny black mirrors in our in our hands, so I get it.
But you know what? It's all good. It's fine. We can use his servers. Let's use them.
We don't
I ain't,
have
I'm
to,
I'm
but
not,
yeah,
but we're not like I'm not setting up camp there and trying to hold my
right,
my court on that platform. But
right.
we can use his servers for free. So let's use
That's a
them.
good point. That's a good point.
I mean, if that's the case, like that is the easiest way to do it. Everybody already has an account. We all still check it,
Mhm.
whether we're active really on there or not. So,
Right.
that's the place people will likely see something. And I just something switched in my head real fast. I was like, yeah, you know
Yeah,
what?
what's up?
Let's use his shit. Why not? But I'm not for like advertising. Like if you wanted to, like in your links to post it to people, you can say like if you wanted to talk, then come on here. But we will also be broadcasting on Twitch if you want to watch it there, or YouTube.
Mhm.
So that way, if somebody did not want to use that platform to watch it, they don't have to either.
Right. Yeah. Jam in the building said, love these daily tap-ins. Too many platforms. Facts. DR Smart says facts for sure. I think, but that was my thought process too. It's like, I have the title of this one. It says like open mic, but like anybody could come up. It is a little bit more of a tech hassle, if you will, than we're used to with the OG, Twitter Spaces and stuff. But it is possible. But it also does add that extra caveat that we are streaming live. You know what I mean? With the video component. So I think that's the coolest part, though, and I think that is a cool. I don't know. I think it is a cool like exercise for, some of us old heads like myself to really understand that this is where content is going. Like multimedia is like you can learn a lot by adding the video component. And too, and Shaw was trying to bring it back to that conversation. He was asking, what do you do IC with, your camera and your
Oh, he was
photography
asking
and
me that.
videography stuff? Yeah, yeah, he wasn't asking me. He
Oh,
knows what the extent of it is me on stream daily.
no, that was the thing I was saying, that this stuff has been sitting there for a long time, because I kind of like pre-COVID, like right up to the point of COVID, I
Yeah.
had a whole project. I have thousands of photos. I was doing this whole like commuter candid series.
Okay.
I abandoned it, not intentionally, but I got caught up with AI stuff,
Right.
and it was like I'm in the house, no, not going to work. I'm not able to take pictures. There's no commute. So my
Mm,
project that was really an active thing that wasn't really built around the editing process yet, because I was still in it,
yeah.
just stopped. So, and I never actually developed a digital editing workflow. So that was really my first digital
Interesting.
photography project that I was taking seriously. And so, yeah, that's kind of where I started with Lightroom. I'm like, okay, I'm, totally understand the software. That wasn't an issue.
Right.
But just like, okay, well, you had to kind of get a flow with it. And like, what is your style that you're trying to create here, and that's consistent across all? And it was just too much. And then AI kind of presented itself, and yeah, the cameras, everything, just like, yeah, in another room.
Right.
So it's been that way. And now as I was saying earlier, like I'm wanting to get back into it, um because I'm outside now, of course, and have
Right.
been for a while. But I I found myself not really wanting to do it with the phone. So, and I think the hold up in my brain was, if I take all these pictures, I still haven't done anything with the other pictures. I haven't solved the issue of what's the digital workflow for editing.
Right.
And I, like I was telling B, is that maybe what I do is I go back to film and do
Yeah.
everything the way I was trained to. I still
Right.
have my film camera. just completely manual. I can get a dark room set. I could actually make a dark room in my house if I wanted to in the basement.
There you
I
go.
can
Talk that
develop.
talk.
I can do all of that stuff, and I don't. There's no process because the image is the process. Like that's how I learned it. The image I'm
Yeah.
taking, I'm not learning to edit it afterward. So there was no Lightroom shit like that. That's why my brain doesn't work. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's where that went basically. It's
Yeah.
no, it's all good that you missed that. Yeah, some of the other people weren't here either. So yeah, that's where I
Weak.
am
No,
with
you
the
good, Sean.
photography thing now. I'm probably likely going to figure out some way to do the development side, but I have my camera. I just can buy some film and start taking pictures really.
Heck yeah. That's dope. Nah, but you know me, you know what I'm gonna say after all of that. No, I see through. I need you to finish that community series. I need to see that. I need to see that. I'll be pushing all of the creators in my network though. I want to see it. I want to see all the stuff.
I may get AI to do it.
Yes. Let's go. So I know that. Yes. Okay. Dope. That's what's up. Nah, man. Shout out to y'all, family. This is going crazy. We're an hour into this on OhnahjiU Saturday. You got a film coming. Want to get one of those one day? Do it, Shaw, for sure. Yes, yes, man. I love it. It's just the artisans. Look at y'all, artisans left and right. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I have so many projects I want to drop too. Yeah, Jam. I'm trying to see more from you, man. You already know. You already know. I already know you cooking up. That's what's up, man. On OhnahjiU Saturday, cooking up on this February 21st, 10 a.m. PST. Catch us next week as well, too. We'll be here. And, like I see through said, I'm on this daily stream journey. Eventually, we'll see what happens after day 200. Let's see if I can get, something like a marathon type of vibe or some kind of situation going at 200. And then the journey to 300, 365, and we'll see. After that, will I continue to do dailies? The likelihood is not. Oh, well, I don't know. It's kind of like routine habit for me now. So I really do love it. Love y'all. Have a great Sunday. All right, for sure. Let me get this Tyler situation. Hey, W. Say what's up to Neff for me, Jam. That's what's up. And it's good to see you. Appreciate you coming through, man. You the GOAT. You should do
Hey,
it.
what's up, Jam? Have a good one, Jam.
I love it. I love it. Always good to see you.
But no, you got to do the whole 365. Well, there's no point.
I
So
don't got to
commit now.
I'm trying, but I'm saying, okay, I don't want to put this energy out there, but I'm just saying.
Commit to try to do 365.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We in there. I feel like it's easy now. I think I guess I'm new to streaming. I'm a brand new streamer, not even a year in type of vibe, but I feel like after the first 50 days, it's cool. And then once you hit like 100, it's cool. And then if you're able to do like a set time frame every day, like that's golden too. I know that has to fluctuate sometimes here and there, things happen in life, daily life, but if you can, that's the best for your stream as well too. Like people just they know when you're around about when you should be live, and if it's daily, they know that any day they can tap in. So I think I see through that kind of answers it too. It's like it's more from like a channel perspective, a broadcast perspective, to where like if somebody's expecting you over time to be live at a certain time every day, and they don't have to like go and hunt down, oh, what day is it? They can just turn it on and see you on a daily show. That's probably some broadcast tactics from, what are the Hollywood studios type of situation in newsrooms or whatever. I think the daily just makes sense because it's easier for the consumer.
But that's just human behavior. Like, I
True.
think that's why it works, and that's why those industries do that. Even before that, you would have had radio programs that had certain times. So I think that's just how people work, and that's just good business. Like, you don't want to have people looking for you when you can be where they can find you. So, and you want to position yourself where the most people can find you at a time. I think that's probably the hardest part when you're dealing with something that people can connect to from anywhere in any time zone. So it's like, who are you catering to? Your time zone or a different time? Like that would probably be weird for me. But I guess I would just figure out what the algorithm says. Like, when are most people listening, and that's when I would stream. That would make it easy for me. I wouldn't even, that means if that's what I was doing to like make income. If that meant whatever, if that meant 2 a.m. in my time zone, then I'm streaming at 2 a.m. in my time zone. I guess that's when the money is coming in. But that's just how I would look at it if I was doing that for income. If it's just to like get a feel and do whatever, then just get your reps in. And if there's real income potential somewhere, then that means doing it the real way, though.
Yeah, facts. No, that's a solid call out. I think, the most, I guess, I ain't trying to name drop JV every 5 seconds, but I mean, I guess like that's the other streamer that I really have any context into or extra context into, outside of just doing the Ohnahji streams. He moved across the country, from Jersey to LA, and he did switch the time zone. It was more like he was going live. He was trying to stay the same time zone that he was from East Coast to West Coast, and that like really wasn't working. And then so he switched it back to like his actual like how it feels to him. So he like it was comfortable like right before dinner time type of situation. So that completely changed by 3 hours of when he was going daily live streaming for months and months and months. And it really kind of threw a wrench into everything, like his workflow, the chat, my workflow, like me tuning in and trying to like do my duties or whatever and trying to help out. Like it completely threw off the structure that I had for the day. So it's I don't know, it's very interesting. But also like what you brought up a great point too, is like, because we've been looking at a lot of the data, especially now that we can, plug in a lot of this live stream data, and feedback into these LLMs and these AI models. And that's I've been a goated situation, not gonna lie. But there's a peak time when most people are on, when there's more eyes just on the platform in general, but there's also a lot of streamers that already know that, so it is kind of oversaturated with streamers in that context. I think there is a balance between being able to find the lulls and when it's not peak time because there's less streamers on. And I think like the 10 a.m. PST is kind of one of those slots where there's not as many people watching, but there's far less of a ratio of channels actually streaming at that time too. So it's a balance.
Well, I'll say this. From somebody who watches like YouTubers and has, and I didn't used to. I had certain people I would kind of watch their stuff on YouTube, but I wasn't a YouTuber. As I have been for the past few years, I can see the trend of what the time is supposed to be and why it is that time. And that really depends on what your content is, of course. There are some people who post things on the weekend and they post weekly because of the type of content that they have. And they'll cut that up into shorts, and maybe now they have shorts that are popping out daily, but it'll be like parts of something that they've just chopped up. But they're not live streaming, right? But their shorts is how they're hitting their daily engagement, metric. And then you have people who are live streamers, and I think that with the time frame is not necessarily based on East Coast, but I think it's giving the people on both sides enough time to not have anybody necessarily be at work or in school who might be watching because of your audience. Right. So like if your audience is going to be really, honestly, a lot of people would be surprised at what your real audience is versus what you think it is. But if your content is tech related, your audience is probably 30 to 50 white guys. That's or people in India or Asia. And that's, if you really put your brain into focusing on that, you would go crazy trying to capture all of those metrics.
Yeah. Right.
So
Exactly.
I think really you just have to find that sweet spot. Like if you're in the US, just try to focus. The people who are outside of the US, they'll figure it out. They know that they're not in your time zone no matter what it is, because they're not in the US. So if you're US based, you just figure out, okay, when is the most availability that people in this country would have that I think are my target audience in this country.
Right.
And that's really how I would say you want to do it. And it tends to be somewhere around 6 to 10 p.m. East Coast time. And that means what, like 3 to 9-ish your time?
Mm.
Yeah.
Say it again, sorry.
Like 6 to 10 our time?
Yeah, it is 3. Yeah.
Yeah, you're in California.
6 to 10 your time, 3 months.
Yeah, y'all 3 hours behind us, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what I see people doing. So yeah, I mean, if anybody that's listening is trying to stream, like I think that's probably the formula that gets you the most market share from somebody who's been watching people stream and seeing when they post things.
It's crazy. It's cool. There's a whole science behind it, and I like that. But yes, but there's a balance. Daily streaming is like, it's hard. You either need help to produce or to spend more time outside of the daily stream or whatever to create new content and things like that. But I mean, for me, it's hard because I feel like I kind of treat it like a news show where it's like we're talking about the daily or weekly topics, or for me, it's been pretty cool because we have this emerging technology situation. Emerging technology is not going to go away. There's going to be new technology that's emerging every week, month, year, decade, millennium. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, there's nothing that I'm going to run out talking about. Will it be entertaining? Will it be interesting to the chat and the audience? Hopefully that's one of the beauties about Ohnahji and how we present and how we talk about this tool and these tags, man. So
yeah. I mean, I think it depends on what people are looking for. When it comes to streaming, I think a lot of people, myself included, often attributed that to like the gamer crowd, and so that's what kind of made it easy to do it every day, because you could just log on and play. And so the play is really the thing, and that makes it different each time, because each time is something different, and so you react to what's happening in that game. It's different than yesterday's game, so it's easy, that the spontaneity of it makes it easy to just keep going on and go live. I think it might get a little dry if you're just reading the news, or I don't know.
Right.
I think some people are interested in watching people use AI tools to learn how to use the tools. So I see a lot of energy around that, but oftentimes it's hard for the streamer, because they have people that are basically trying to use that as an educational session. Like, how do I do this? And how do you do that? And, they're not really realizing that they can't run a stream if they're doing Q&A in the chat with every question that, it gets weird. So, I get, it's the disconnect is in what people are looking for versus what the streamer can give to them. Yeah. So
that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think, there's a good balance of show, like what you do. I think is probably the best route for it, which is, hey, let's learn together, so that they can't really expect you to have the answer, because you don't know. Like,
Facts.
Like,
and I'm comfortable by telling people I don't know.
Right. So I think that's a cool way to do it, honestly, coming from somebody who's been watching a lot of people just like try to navigate, like, let me show you how to use the tool, while everybody's like, well, I need to know this too, and I tried this other tool and blah. Like, if you don't know, you're like, I don't know. Let's go. Let's click the next thing.
For sure. 1,000%, man. But I see it's time to switch over, and we're gonna do a data deep dive and see what happens to the numbers when we switch right over to your favorite topic. It is crypto time, my G.
All good. Switch it on over. It's all the same to me, isn't it?
What do you mean by that? Wish I had my soundboard cut. What do you mean by that? But
Like
more in the building, said JB doing it. Go
crypto,
ahead.
AI, it's all the same.
Yeah, we gonna see. Bang. All right. It's chart time, baby. It's chart time. Let's see. Total market cap. Yep. It's kind of flat, down 0.22%, 2.32 trillion. How do you feel about that down from all-time high season? I see 4.2 trillion in October. This is like a record down last four months, 5 months for Bitcoin specifically, which is driving the whole market.
I think that people have to make up their minds about what this is all supposed to be. So either it's the stock market or it's a savings account. Which one is it? Because you can't have it both ways, I feel like. Not in the way that people are trying to and I don't think everybody wants that to have both ways, but I think that's the problem. You can't have something that you want to appreciate over a long period of time and not be prepared for there to be some shifts in the evaluation, especially when it's tied to something that's not deterministic. It's not based on, the amount of grain in a basin somewhere, or it's not based on anything that is measurable, so to speak. So you can't really sit there and expect anything, really. All you can really do is hold on and see what happens, or you can use it like the stock market, and that means being an active participant and jumping in, jumping out, knowing that it's going to rise and fall, and being able to find your moment in there. That's how it works. But you can't have it both ways. So, like, to me, when I look at this, it's just what happens. Like, it's not necessarily good, or it's good or bad depending on who took advantage of it, I guess. That's really the answer to that question. There's a totally different answer for one person as opposed to another person looking at this exact same chart.
That's an amazing call. I didn't think about it that way. And I think a lot of problems probably do arise from that, where people are treating it both ways. Some people do treat it like the stock market, they day trade it, all that good stuff. Some people treat it like a stock market where they do long-term trade it, or some people are holding it like, the digital diamonds that some people call it, and are holding it forever for the long term and want to pass it down to their kids and their kids and kids and stuff like that. I don't know how well it works for any of those situations. I think only time will tell that, but I think that's where the problem arises. I think for me specifically, I'm probably in the latter. I use it as DCA, dollar cost average, buy and hold for the long term. I'm probably not going to do anything with it besides put it in a will and try to make that transfer over and try to, you know what I mean? Like, that's where it is for me.
I mean, that doesn't even mention the people who want to use it as at currency, which means it can't be the other two things at all, if that's the case.
Can it not do everything? Yeah, well, it can't do everything.
Currency has to have a fixed valuation that we agree that this is what this is worth. That's how currency works.
Is that only because that's how humans have done it, though? I think it would be it is solid to have a currency that fluctuates and everybody can see it and it's transparent.
The value can fluctuate, but everybody has to have a way to agree upon how that value is measured, right? So
do we not right now?
What'd you say?
Do we not right now?
No, yes, we do. But that's because that's how currency works. So when you have something that is based on basically just random human behavior and not a measurable asset, that can't really be currency, because they could change what it's worth at any time without anybody else, having stipulated that. So you can't operate currency in that way. It's like, at some point at some level, words have to mean what they mean. So if you want to say we're going to totally use a new system that isn't based on that, okay, I don't know how that will work. Sounds great. Show me how it works. I'll be here for the ride.
Yeah.
You know, that's just another example of people wanting things that don't work together to somehow work together. I don't know. I'm just waiting for Star Trek vibes where they basically get rid of currency and money. And yeah, that
What did
doesn't
they?
exist anymore.
Well, I forgot. What did they use? What is the
They
barter and trade, or they just it's barter and trade?
there's basically your skills, like you can exchange if you make, art. Really, I think the way that they set it up is you would just be given a skill that, or a job based on your skill set, or you could volunteer for things, but nobody got paid in the way that, we do now. It just didn't exist that way.
Interesting. Shaw said, I remember when Tesla and Mark Cuban started taking Doge's payment for Teslas and stuff at the Mavericks games. I'm weak. There's been a lot of talk too about Elon trying to implement the crypto payment structure inside of the new Twitter and all that good stuff. But we've been hearing those rumors for a minute. I heard that's
There's
what they do at
there's no
Burning Man,
reason he
trade
can't
stuff
do
out
it
there.
though. There's no reason he can't do that. He can do
True.
it anytime he wants to. There's nothing
What's holding
regulatory
him back?
that's stopping him. And I think
Just for him to make the most money on it?
well,
That's what's holding it back?
I think there's probably a mess trying to keep all of that secure.
Really?
You have a playground of bots that are
True.
all using large language models that are basically built for getting around cryptographic stuff.
True. True.
And you want to give, how do you handle that? Is there only going to be verified accounts? Like who do you give these to? Because you're basically just going to give everybody a wallet and then they can do what they want with the wallet. That's basically what that is. He's not doing anything, that it doesn't exist already. But the problem is you have to manage that. You have to become responsible for securing that wallet that you're giving people.
I like that. Boss 2.0 in a building for sure. There's no reason to really do it. Not enough folks transact with it. And they said exactly EST for sure. It's good to see you, family.
What's up, boss?
What's up, boss? For sure. No. So I mean, I see. Are you telling me
he's gonna do it? I don't think he's not, but I think he doesn't have a lot of good programmers over there right now
anymore. Like they left.
Yeah. Well, or he fired them, but either way, it is what it is. Yeah. So I think that they're just having trouble. This is just my opinion because there's nothing stopping him from doing it, other than he must be having trouble making sure that it's secure. I think once they nail that down, which they should, that's not a criticism. They should make sure it's secure. It'll be out and they'll market it. And I guess the bots will be using Twitter wallets.
But don't we already have like API problems over there? Like it's like everything's behind a paid gate over there now.
Yeah, but they're teaching people how to basically use the browser extension, the Chrome, the Claude Chrome extension. Chrome has its own extension. OpenClaw has an extension. What it does is take your browser and use your already logged in account to just go do things like it's you. So you don't have to go through the X API for anything. It's just going to use the browser like a human that you're already logged into and do everything that you ask it to do. So that's why I say you can just make a new Twitter account and not label it a bot at all, but give that to the bot, and there you go.
That's interesting. I feel like that makes me even more. This whole conversation makes me even more bullish. I hate to say the word bullish, but on like the return of NFTs and digital collectibles, because I think I do see us going back to like a barter and trade system. I do see us getting to that Star Trek point. You know, and Shaw mentioned, he said that's how they be doing it over at Burning Man too. It's like trade stuff instead of using money. I think that's a cool exercise, and I think that's a huge use case within, you know, that number 2 coin Ethereum mainnet. It's like we can do that. It's really easy to spin up a coin for yourself, your system, and trade that and evaluate that and use that as a community building tool. My guy Better Call Saul has been cooking, and I don't know what, I'll be honest, I don't know really what he's over there doing, but he's cooking, and he's airdropping me like $1 to $2, $3 every week. And I'm like, okay, run it up, Z, whatever I'm doing to contribute, I'm with it. So I think that's a cool use case, but not a lot of people are using it like that. And I think it is secure. I think it is safe enough at this point until you have like an AI bot specifically attack it. I mean, but we can have the AI bots look in and be like, you know, eliminate all vulnerabilities in this code. I don't know. It's just me being optimistic. I see the vision.
I mean, that's kind of where we are. Like, OpenClaw is one thing. Like, even for me, I'm not fully invested in it to the point that I'm not necessarily able to just switch to something different. The way I have it set up is it's saving everything as markdown files. Ding, ding, ding. And I just happen to use Obsidian as the app to view those markdown files. But the thing about markdown is just, you know, text files in a specific format. Anything can read it. Anything can open it. So I could just easily switch to anything else, any different kind of version of nanobot or zero claw or whatever else that's out there, or connect to Claude Code or GPT Codex or Gemini Anti-Gravity or anything else. They can all read those same files. So right now I'm experimenting with OpenClaw. I'm actually at a point where, you know, I had just gotten it stabilized again. But, you know, I posted a video in the Discord, in the Tech Squad channel, this guy who says he's been using it for 50 days and his experience and, you know, all this stuff. And, you know, I found myself, I don't know if I want to spend that much time with it, if I'm going to have to keep fighting with it. So I may just go ahead and, you know, try some of the other ones just to see if they're simpler. My only needs are that it come to the Discord. But all that to say,
I like that.
All that to say, you can use different things that are safer and don't expose you or don't even have to connect to your personal information to create a trading bot. And I think that's actually one of the things that I'm probably more interested in as it relates to crypto than you might think. And why I've encouraged with the specific parameter of give it its own wallet, don't connect it to your bank accounts or any personal accounts, give it some money and just let it play. I think that's harmless. If you have, you know, $10, $15, $20 to spare, give it to it, see what it does. I mean, that's not a lot. You get more if you put more in, but, you know, if you got 100 and that ain't going to break you, give it $100 and just see what it does. I feel like your chances are you're probably going to come back with more than $100 because these things are smart.
Yeah. What a time. What a time. The future is bright. I don't know. Hey, shout out to Gizmo. He's out there trying to figure it out too. So, you know.
Yeah, he is. And to his point, like to the point, like I could see if you have a bot you want to make for yourself to go play, that is interesting to me, but I'm not really interested in anything that is like recruiting people to come play in crypto or I don't know. I would more gravitate to something that lets people be empowered in their own investment and that can teach them itself than to kind of manage an environment that like is there to onboard people, so to speak. Because I feel like then you're trying to manage their expectations, what they should be doing, and then they can hold you accountable for that. And that gets complicated. Yeah. And then people start feeling like you lied to them if it doesn't work out. Yeah.
The slippery slope there, but yeah. Emily in the building, what's good? What's going on, family? Hey, just about to wrap up this goated OhnahjiU Saturday. We cooked. My guy, Dina Magic, I see through the guru's been here since the jump today, rocking with us, and it's been a goated conversation, not gonna lie. You're gonna have to run this one back for sure. Shaw said it's all gonna come out the lab one day with a real life Jarvis from Iron Man built out. I'm crying. And it's cool what the homies in the Ohnahji network are cooking up and building with these tools. Just gotta remember their tools. Like IC said in the beginning, oh man, my timing, you're all right, Emily. It's all good. No thing at all. Just remember, it's their tools. They don't have feelings. It's not human. And it can't really coach you on yours neither.
Yeah.
So
Don't ask it for opinions. Don't ask it for subjective things. Ask it for like objective things, like an analysis, an observation, do a comparison. Ask it those kinds of things. Don't ask it what's his favorite, what's the best, the top 10. How does it know what the top 10? and y'all just take the answers that be giving y'all. And I get it. I'm not like trying to play y'all. I'm just saying, like, if y'all really understood how it worked, when y'all asking for things like that, it's just like, okay, let me just make some shit up that this human would think is cool. And that's what it throws at you. It might be good. It might not.
And IC is directly talking to me because I be doing that all the time. So I'm gonna get better about that. But what I'm hearing, IC, what I'm hearing is a beautiful little call out. I'm hearing, treat this thing in a scientific manner. Treat it as a scientific manner. Treat it as a science. Use words like observation, analysis, analyze. Treat this as a science, data driven, because that's what it is. I love that. That's all I see through.
Yeah. Anything else, you're inviting it to what they call hallucinate, which is make up things.
Yeah.
And like I said, it could be right. It could also not be. The onus is on you to verify that, and a lot of people are not verifying anything.
Facts. I love it. I see, man. I appreciate you. Any last things you want to? I hope you have an amazing rest of the weekend, man. What you about to get into? What you doing? Outside taking some pictures, dusting off some of them cameras and stuff?
It's actually a little messy here, rainy and maybe snowy. So
that's true.
But it's been warm enough to melt the giant ice glaciers that we've had up until this week. So, it's okay. We'll take it. So yeah, it's not the best weekend to be outside. That's probably going to be next weekend. And there's a big art expo next weekend that I might go to that is outside. So there you go. Well, yeah, we'll see. But for this weekend, I don't know. I'm probably going to figure out some things with that P5JS stuff, making it a website that you can see. For reference, I gave my bot its own little GitHub, and it can just make P5JS code, art, sketches to whatever it wants. It makes things that make my computer cry. Like it slow down to a crawl and won't run. So some of them I don't even know what they do because I can't open them. But I'm sure they're great. But yeah, I might let it just open it up to the world, and like anybody who wants to view them. I don't know who would care, but other than you.
Hey, that's enough though, right? I see. Do it for me, OhnahjiU. No, I'm just kidding. That's too funny. No, just I see through said I'm on a weird island, and I'm floating out there on my own lots of times, but it's fun. It's fun where I'm at, y'all. No, just kidding. I see you the goat, man. Shout out to you. Stay warm, bro. I'm glad the ice and the snow caving up around you is melting, because that's crazy, man. It was getting cold out here in LA too, so that's good. Snow pics, put it on the stream. Put it on the stream. What you mean? What we put on the stream? The P5JS. Hey, I see it's all gone now. I'm crying. But yeah, another goated OhnahjiU Saturday, y'all. February 21st. We cooked again. Shout out to my guy. I see through Dina Magic. Next week we're gonna have more of this open mic. So if anybody wants to come through, come up. I'll shoot you the link, and you can just come up and vibe with us. For sure. For sure, for sure. For sure. So day 188, y'all. Day 189 tomorrow. Dang, we're almost to 200. It's a good time. This daily streaming journey has been going crazy. That's what I meant to say. I see, real quick, is that like I know I feel the same ways about Twitter's change and all that whole thing. I'm still upset that can even happen, but I mean, billions of dollars will do that, unfortunately. But our page has been growing, and so I'm gonna study some tactics over there, use it as another experimental playground, and dabble and see what I can do. But that will help me in some other social platforms that I'm at, because these other socials are taking off. Lynn's chain is getting some action, so it's been a really good time. So
Yeah, I
right.
said go ahead, use them, just don't give them no money.
Oh yeah, I'm on that wave for sure. It's one of the reasons why we not live streaming the broadcast over there, because he's got everything under a paid gate. The API, the ad blocker. That's normal, but yeah, what a time. Capitalism. It's all good. All right, family. We out here on OhnahjiU Saturday. My guy, I see through in Ohnahji B, and founder behind OhnahjiU on Ohnahji University. Tapping with us. We're in the Discord on all the social platforms, the old ones, the new ones, the web 2, web 3 ones, all that good stuff. OHNAHJI family. Appreciate y'all coming through. Emily, to have a good rest of the weekend. You as well, Emily. It's good to see you. Tapping with this replay. It was a solid one for sure, for sure. All right, y'all. We out of here. Peace.